All right, you got me back. Hi, I'm Nervous, and I'm here today because I've discovered a new online series I have to talk to you about, and it revolves around a suspicious plant and the human who planted it. And they need your help. Frankly, the fate of this plant may have drastically changed by the time you're watching this, so rather than meander, I'm going to jump right in. Let me introduce you to Stateflower. While today's topic may not meet the normal criteria of internet horror content that I normally cover on this channel, there is a mystery afoot and problems to be solved, and if I know anything about the kind of people who watch my videos, you might enjoy trying to figure out what's going on here just as much as I do. Stateflower is a relatively new series of short videos that can be found on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, uploading first in April of this year. While the creator has made other animations in the past, this series seems to be the first of theirs to really take off. It began simply enough, capitalizing off the trend of doing something mundane every day until X amount of followers are gained.
Day 1 of watering this plant until I reach 1,000 subscribers.
Nothing out of the ordinary, but it was a unique way to see that trend being done, translating it into the animated format. However, on day 2, something happened. Some unidentified alien bug thing infiltrates this mysterious plant's pot. Over the next few days, we watched the plant grow with no mention of the invader, but things would take a turn on day 7, when the plant appears to birth another one of the alien bugs. Or is this just the same creature that's been lying dormant, growing alongside our mysterious plant? After this strange event, the plant no longer responds to being watered, and desperate to keep it alive, the off-screen plant parent asks us, the viewer, for advice.
Day 9 of watering this plant. Let's see if we can save him by giving him a cheese stick. You want the cheese stick? No, doesn't want the cheese stick. Serve him some potato. You want the potato? Yeah? No.
They try a handful of viewer suggestions, none of which are successful. As it turns out, the issue lied in the plant's roots. There's been a parasitic takeover, which the caretaker, which is how I'll refer to the presumed human who is looking after the plant from now on, promptly deals with, and then repots the pathetic remains of the mystery plant.
We can give him a new pot, and we can give him new soil. I just hope it's not too late.
All the while, people in the comments are regularly suggesting that the plant be fed blood. This is a suggestion the caretaker refuses to try. In one instance, they replied to a comment asking, what if he likes it? Which is a fair question. On day 11, the caretaker suggests that they try friendship and give the plant a caterpillar named Jerry, which it immediately eats. But then it grows. It begins accepting water again and eating the parasites that were once stealing its nutrients. And oh look, one of them escaped. I'm sure that won't come up later. The caretaker shows that they've bought blood meal fertilizer, but still want to hold off on giving it to the plant. Overall, the plant seems to be doing much better, which of course means something bad has to happen. You remember the alien bug from earlier? Well, it's back. And we are forced to helplessly watch as it steals what you may have already recognized as a chrysalis. That's right. The plant didn't just eat Jerry. It took him in and gave him a safe place to metamorphosize into a butterfly. Based on this information and the way we saw it seem to do the same thing for the parasite, it would appear that this plant is capable of functioning as a sort of incubator. And after Jerry is taken, the plant becomes depressed. It won't respond to water, its color fades, and the comments beg the caretaker to give it a new friend. It's unclear if these comments are being ignored or if the caretaker has yet to understand just how sentient this plant is, but after trying decorating, offering a little gnome, and even a change of scenery, the caretaker finally gives in. On day 19, a new mystery seed is planted alongside him, and it begins to grow. It's around this time that the caretaker also seems to recognize that a reminder of Jerry might help the plant too. The plant then reminisces about his lost friend, and we are given insight into the communication between these two creatures, and Jerry's promise to return to the plant after he became a butterfly. Before we move on, I do just want to mention something strange that happens on day 19. The caretaker has at times offered a follower count in the form of a piece of paper that lays on the pot, but on day 19, we instead see a scanner. This scanner is what I have hinged on the most in this series. Where did it come from? What is its purpose? Why is it labeled Jerry Tech? And what happened to the first 3 iterations? And what's stranger, although the plant seems amicable and even protective of its new pot bait, when the caretaker uses the scanner on the plants, something very alarming happens. It throws up an error on the main plant, specifically where Jerry once was, and just for a moment, a red message flashes on the little plant. It doesn't seem to alarm the caretaker though, so I'm sure everything will be just fine. Okay, no, they don't kill off the plant just yet, but the fact that this plant is now having nightmares about its roomie makes me want to take a closer look at that warning from the Jerry Tech scanner. Danger. Noted. However, after this, the scanner just seems to be offering advice on how to care for the plants, and no more warning messages appear. And look, they're hugging. I mean, sure, the screen glitches here and there, but maybe things will be okay. Now, things in this story really take a turn on day 26, when the caretaker retrieves the gnome from the old pot and brings it outside, and it starts talking.
Reunited at last.
The next 3 videos relay the tales of the other 27 days. That's right, this story has a B-plot. To be brief, you may remember me mentioning that one of the little parasite worms escaped early on in this series. It went out looking for a way to help the other parasites escape, but it failed. However, it did find something. The plant's other head that it lost back when it was, not doing so hot. All the way back in the first pot, where the series started. The parasite rescues the plant head and helps him get food and water. And we learn that the plant will eat cheese, which is weird that it wouldn't earlier in the series. I guess maybe it just likes cheddar. After recovering his strength, the head remembers what happened to it, how the parasites ate away at he and his brother's nutrients and made them sick. He lashes out at the parasite before getting distracted by a voice, the gnome. Ultimately, the parasite makes it clear it just wants to help the plant head find his brother to make up for what it's done. And according to the gnome, the two have spent the last 10 days searching for the plant. This is all we learn before returning to our A-plot, where the Jerry Tech scanner has been able to identify the plant as a double-headed something. It also shows us a number, 6.2.4004, which could be a date or some indication of species. We aren't sure, but the caretaker does ask us what plant details we want to look at, and the answers were overwhelmingly the diet and predators. We learn that the double-headed plant primarily eats worms, but also grapes. Before we can learn any more though, the scanner shuts off abruptly. And once again, the caretaker turns to us to help us get it working.
Whack the scanner. Didn't work.
After some more creative suggestions, someone says it needs a keyboard plugged in to type in commands. They try a number of commands that don't seem to do anything, but luckily someone else suggested checking the batteries. Upon taking out the plastic cover on the back of the scanner, we don't see batteries, but the caretaker discovers a word that has been carved into the plastic: friend. And it works. The scanner turns back on, but it's not good news.
Okay. Okay, this is slightly concerning.
Bizarrely, the caretaker handles this news very calmly, like too calmly.
Okay. First off, I'm not eliminating anything. These are both my plants, and I've never seen anything that would indicate. Okay, everything's fine.
The blue plant, however, then goes rogue and cuts off a part of the green plant. It is very clear now that these two plants need to be separated as soon as possible before things get worse. And as of writing this, that is the last video that has been uploaded. The caretaker leaves it up to us whether or not the blue plant will be repotted further away. Now, Stateflower uploads pretty regularly, so I will try to update you. All right, yes, there is an update. The two plants were moved into separate pots, but now I am second guessing my snap judgment about the blue plant actually being a threat to the green plant, because the two seem like they don't actually want to be separated, and I actually think that maybe the green plant was totally okay with the blue plant pruning the green plant, so to speak. So you tell me in the comments if you think that the blue plant was actually a threat or not. And, I just want to say that I know that a lot of this video is really just me overanalyzing this series, so it may not be that serious at all. And I totally understand that. I just wanted to throw that out there. So you're going to hear me theorizing a lot in the rest of this video, and if you think that I'm just totally overthinking it, that's the point of the channel. Welcome. And with that, we'll get back to the video. But with all that being said, this is where we stop for now. And we're still left with a lot of questions, like, why are these plants sentient? And is Jerry okay? Did the second head end up eating the blood fertilizer that was sitting on the shelf? Will the two heads be reunited? And seriously, why does the scanner have the same name as the caterpillar? I would say the caretaker made it, but they seem fairly oblivious to how the thing works.
Okay, I didn't realize I had to charge this thing.
And on top of that, we also don't have origins for the seeds themselves. Did all of this just show up at the caretaker's house one day? Is this some kind of social experiment to see if we as the audience grow overly attached to the plant? Because if so, it's working. Look, I could genuinely go on, but for now, I just want to speculate on the overall message of the series. What's being shown here underneath the surface? On one level, what we see is just different types of life trying to survive. The plants, the parasites, the caterpillar, and they're all using each other to do so. And on another, we see a theme of loss. The two heads of the plant are separated, the parasite loses his family, the plant loses Jerry, and they all handle their losses differently. The main plant goes through a period of depression. The parasite looks for a new purpose, choosing a hopeful outlook and looking to save others where he couldn't save his own. And the second head lashes out in anger before trying to forgive the parasite. So yes, while we are watching a plant grow physically, we're also watching these characters grow internally, overcoming hard emotions to continue their pursuit of survival and reunification. And lastly, we see the theme of nurturing, especially with our main plant and its natural ability to incubate for other living things, but also with the caretaker. They want to see the plant thrive, and so do we. The viewers offer suggestions, even wanting the caretaker to offer up blood if it means keeping the plant alive. And speaking of that, yes, it is worth talking about the connections here between this bug-eating plant and Audrey 2, the mean green mother from outer space. If you don't know, Little Shop of Horrors is a musical centered around a strange alien plant that craves human blood. The plant is named Audrey 2 after the crush of the protagonist Seymour, who is so caught up in the fame and recognition he gets over the plant that it starts affecting his morality. I think it's very telling that our caretaker is interested in taking a different route with their little plant who, as of now, doesn't have a name. We have confirmation that whatever breed of plant it is, it will eat bugs, fruit, and even cheese, if it's desperate enough. So it's fair to say that we're not dealing with an Audrey 2 situation here, but the question of origin still remains. There are a number of things that would give credence to the plants and even the parasites being of extraterrestrial origin. For one, they can speak to each other, and the double-headed plant's diet is a little odd for a plant. They're also capable of experiencing complex emotions, and the plants even have a level of independent movement that goes beyond what one would think possible. For what it's worth, this doesn't really explain why the gnome can talk, so other possibilities would be that this world just has a different set of rules, or that there's some more magical force at play. But I do have one more piece of evidence to suggest alien activity, and that is the unexplained tech used by the caretaker, the Jerry Tech Scanner 4.0. The last time we see Jerry, he's being taken by the big parasite, the one that was allowed to incubate in the plant. And I have a bit of a crazy theory that Jerry lives. I guess you could call it more of a hunch because I don't have evidence beyond the scanner itself, but everything about the scanner, the fact that the caretaker doesn't know how it works, the name, the etching, a friend on the inside, it all suggests Jerry had a hand in it. And its whole purpose is to help the caretaker keep the plant safe, to keep Jerry's friend safe. It would be difficult for a butterfly, sure, but for an alien species that can communicate with bugs, it would make it more possible, at least. That's my big swing anyway. We'll have to keep watching the series to know more. In fact, the characters' fates are dependent on us showing up. And I hope you will, because the community is actually really cool, and they even have a Discord, which I'll link in the description, along with all of Stateflower's socials. Thank you so much for watching, and for letting me yap about this cool interactive series I happened across. Similarly to Bunlops, which I also want to make a follow-up video on, these bite-sized series are so fascinating to me and a true testament to the art of storytelling. It's impressive to see creators produce these intricate stories and multifaceted characters in such small chunks of time. And speaking of time, it looks like this video is almost over, so before you go, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already to become a part of the Nervous System. I upload videos every other week and go live on Wednesdays and Fridays usually, but if you can't wait, there are videos on the screen right now just for you. Okay, bye! The caretaker has at times offered a following